It's time to start talking about the Chesapeake Bay Bridge. Not the current one, the new one. The one that needs to be built. We've ignored the problem long enough, but did you know it's almost too late? Too late to begin a plan that will save commuters, vacationers, tourists, and locals from hours of traffic gridlock? While we sit back and watch as options are discussed and studies are done, we have to realize we're wasting precious time while an inevitable decision needs to be made. We need a new bridge that will alleviate the traffic, and time is running out. A bridge being built tomorrow would already be too late.
10,000 people gathered on this hot summer day for the 5-hour ceremony that began with a 19-gun salute and closed with a parade of units from the United States Armed Forces.
In 1952, the first bridge opened connecting Anne Arundel County to Queen Anne's and changed the way millions of people traveled.
Beginning at Sandy Point, the bridge runs southeast, then curves eastward. The main channel suspension span is 2,922.5 feet long, with a horizontal clearance of 1,500 feet and a vertical clearance of 186.5 feet above the surface of the water.
4.35 miles of steel now allow 3,000 vehicles an hour to pass over the Chesapeake Bay. A feat that would take ferries almost 2 hours was now completed in just minutes. Those couple of minutes would drastically change life on the Eastern Shore. Ocean City and Eastern Shore tourism exploded almost overnight. It took only 15 years after the construction of the Bay Bridge for over 15,000 condominium units to be constructed in Ocean City. Ocean City quickly became one of the best vacation spots on the entire East Coast. Queen Anne's County was also quickly affected by the development. The first half of the 20th century saw the population of this county dwindle every decade leading up to 1950. After construction of the Bay Bridge finished, the population in Queen Anne's climbed by 11% or more every decade leading up to the last census. Local businesses from the shore were now connected to Baltimore and Washington, D.C. Farmers could take their produce across the bridge in a cost-effective manner. Tourism, business, and homes began flourishing at an incredible rate. Everyone in Maryland, and more importantly, the Eastern Shore, were now connected. A bridge was built to the future. The results were almost too successful. Did you know that on average over 70,000 cars traverse over the Chesapeake Bay each day? However, recent studies show that by the year 2040, an average of more than 92,000 vehicles will cross the bridge daily, with more than 125,000 crossing on Fridays and Sundays during the summer. What does that mean for traffic? It's quite simple. We will see substantial increases in daily backups. Without improvements or a new bridge, eastbound travelers could see backups reaching 13 miles, which would stretch all the way to Interstate 97. Westbound drivers could anticipate 3-mile-long backups daily, with 14-mile backups on Sunday during the summer. That would stretch almost to Y Mills. Queen Anne's County currently has a little over 48,000 inhabitants, but a household population projected by the Maryland Department of Planning has Queen Anne's County increasing to 63,000 by the cutoff date of 2040. As population increases and more vehicles are hitting the road, commuting, vacationing, and simple everyday activities will become more difficult while the problem grows out of hand. Governor Hogan announced the $5 million Tier 1 National Environmental Policy Act study in 2016 to identify a location and explore possible funding for a new Chesapeake Bay crossing. Let's take a look at those options. Zone 1, Baltimore to Kent County. Having a bridge close to Baltimore seems obvious since roughly 50% of summer weekend traffic originates from the Baltimore area, but the financial repercussions are high for Kent County. The infrastructure of Kent County's roads would need to be upgraded substantially. Not only would the bridge need to be built, but millions would need to be spent to develop Kent County before the bridge was allowed to be built. Kent County residents have already raised concerns that historic Chestertown could possibly become a suburb of Baltimore and destroy the small town feel the county residents love. This plan could potentially direct vacationers towards Delaware beaches and take away from the tourism in Ocean City. Zone 2, a third span crossing from Anne Arundel to Queen Anne's County. This option, the equivalent of which was chosen in 1960s during their study, will require the shortest bridge. The highway infrastructure is already in place, but US 5301 would need to be widened. Zone 3. The newest option has a crossing from either Anne Arundel or Calvert County that empties into Talbot County. This would allow a more direct connection to Ocean City. However, a major downfall is that Talbot County would need to construct a series of small bridges throughout the county to accommodate a new bridge across the Chesapeake. Also, a bridge at this crossing would be over 10 miles long, which is twice as long as the existing bridge. Zone 4. A southern crossing between Calvert and Dorchester counties. This would provide the most direct route possible to Ocean City, but this option has been met with more opposition than any other option. The concerns are directed towards the environmental impact that the approach roads would incur on the marshland. Not only are there environmental concerns, but several small bridges would need to be built that could possibly be longer than the main bridge itself. If that wasn't enough, this option would also divert less traffic than all other options. Other possibilities. Recently, the Maryland Transportation Authority released a transit-only study focused on public transportation's possible effect on bridge traffic. It was discovered that by 2030, only about 2,900 people would switch to transit, leading to only a 1.1% reduction in vehicles crossing the bridge. It was concluded that transit service alone could not provide a significant relief to weekday or summer traffic congestion.
Breaking news right now, bad accident on the Bay Bridge right now. Let's go to Captain Jeff Long in Sky Chopper 13. Jeff, what can you tell us?
3 vehicles are involved in this accident.
Tragedy can strike anywhere in an instant, and accidents happen. There are instances, however uncommon, that force us to analyze the possible effects of not having a third bridge. Minor accidents on the bridge cause hour-long backups as there's no way to divert the traffic.
So anybody that lives on the Eastern Shore and travels the Bay Bridge, be it to your vacation home in Ocean City, to your relatives in Easton or Salisbury, sees the impacts of this traffic on the Bay Bridge, especially in the warm weather months.
Emergency vehicles battle their way through gridlock to help people who are essentially trapped.
Queen Anne's County is only one of 2 counties that does not have a hospital. So we need the access for the Bay Bridge, 1, to get to Anne Arundel Medical Center, but 2, to just relieve the stress on our citizens that can't get out of their house on a Sunday evening to go to the store, to go to a restaurant, to go to their kids' ball game.
There are occasions when traffic is halted to such a degree that trauma helicopters are used to fly over the bay. Even now, and more so in the future, our current bridge spans will require structural and visual upgrades that will shut down lanes, and possibly even an entire bridge span for days or weeks. Imagine thousands of people attempting to go home, thousands of people trying to get to work, and thousands of people wanting to enjoy vacation. Imagine one person with an emergency that needs to drive through all of that. People are constantly frustrated with the traffic.
It's important for citizens to know that what we're seeing now is only the beginning. The situation is guaranteed to deteriorate as time goes by.
I live just 2 exits down in Cape St. Clair from the bridge, and we can reach a point in the summertime where we literally can't get outside of our neighborhood because there's so much traffic backed up.
Stress for commuters is high, and some locals don't even bother leaving their house at times.
And on a Sunday afternoon in the summer, a little traffic builds up and Route 18 is shut down, and I can't leave my neighborhood, Oyster Cove, because the road is blocked. Can't get to the store, can't get anywhere.
Even now, our emergency services are impeded, our fire companies are held up by traffic, and the citizens can at times not even move around Kent Island.
All these issues are happening now, with 2 bridges at full capacity. It's time to figure out how we can make our lives easier.
That's the situation in Queen Anne's County. It's not good now, and it's getting worse. And the way to alleviate it is to call your representative or your senator now.
So please feel free to reach out to me or any of the other commissioners or any of your state delegates and talk about this issue.
Now is the time to act.